So we're joined here by former Strictly dancer Flavia. So I'm going to ask you some questions. What made you become an ambassador for Dog Trouble?
Well, I've always had a huge passion for dogs. I grew up with a big, fluffy German Shepherd dog. We got him when I was 5 years old, and we were very, very, very close. And I grew up with him, and then he died when he was about 13, 14 years old. And yes, I had a very, very close relationship with him. And then, obviously, because of my dancing, my career, and everything, I wasn't able to have my own dog for a long while. But I've always had a huge passion for them. And I got into kind of dog psychology, reading books. I think because I couldn't have my own, I started watching lots of TV shows and reading books, and kind of trying to understand a bit more about the psychology behind dogs. And I got into a TV series called The Dog Whisperer, Caesar Milan, and I got addicted to it. And I was in my 20s, and I used to watch it religiously, watched every single episode. And then through the lady that I was actually teaching, got talking to her about dogs, and she introduced me to Jo at the centre here. And so she brought me along one day, and I had a look around and met all of her pack. And she was just about to launch her Dog Trouble Foundation charity, and she asked me whether I'd like to be ambassador for it, and I was like, yeah, absolutely, I'd love to. So that's how I got into the Dog Trouble world.
So I'm guessing your favourite breed of dog is a cockapoo. Do you like any other breed?
I love all breeds, actually. Yeah, obviously I grew up with a German Shepherd. So yeah, I mean, for me, all dogs. It doesn't matter really what breed they are. We went for a cockapoo because we just wanted a mixed breed, and we didn't want anything too big, and it was my husband's first dog ever. He's never had dogs. He wasn't actually into dogs, so it took me a few years to convince him. So we had to think carefully about what breeds to get. We wanted something that was going to be friendly and not too large, so we could get used to owning dogs, because it is a challenge. So yes, that's why we went for the cockapoo. But to be honest, any dog, as long as they've got 4 paws and a tail, and I don't mind.
So are you involved in any other dog charities?
I've done some things for, I've done RSPCA, I've done some charity events for them, the World Wildlife Fund, which is obviously more to do with wildlife, and also the Dogs Trust. So little bits and pieces here and there, the odd event, but my main one is here at Dog Trouble, because it's where Pablo and Zach spend a lot of time.
If you weren't a professional dancer, what job would you be doing?
I always get asked that question, and even before I had Pablo and Zach, actually, I always said I would work with animals. So I don't think I'd be a vet, because I'm too squeamish, and I'd be crying all the time. So that might not work. But yes, I think animal welfare and looking after animals, and not just necessarily dogs, all animals. So yeah, something along those lines.
So we've been looking around a bit, and we've looked and found why did you become a dog groomer?
Oh yeah, that was quite recent actually. So I've worked a lot. I've worked sort of non-stop for the last however many years, and I had a 7-month break from my last touring. Hello, having a good time, aren't they? And so basically, I decided that it would be good to do something different. Learn a new skill, take on a new challenge, and I thought, well, what can I do that I might enjoy? And I thought, well, I love dogs, so the two things kind of went hand in hand. And also, I've got 2 very fluffy dogs that need a lot of grooming, even though you couldn't tell that now because they haven't been groomed for a while, because I've been busy. So yes, I did a Sitting Gills level 3 dog grooming course, which is quite mad.
Yeah.
So we can't let you go without asking you some Strictly questions.
Of course not.
So what was your favourite Strictly moment?
There are so many actually. Obviously, probably winning the show has to be one of them. In 2013, I danced with Louis Smith. So that was a really good year. It was the Olympics. There was a lot of, you know, hype that year. It was very exciting. Everybody was watching Olympics. We all knew that, you know, the athletes, and we knew quite a few of them were going to be on the show. So, and I was lucky enough to, you know, be partnered with Lewis. And yes, it was a special year, and it was my last year on Strictly. So winning it was, you know, probably a highlight. Obviously, I have lots of memories with Bruce, doing little dances with Bruce. So yeah, you know, obviously there are things that will stay with you, and also dancing with lots of amazing singers. Beyonce that came on. That was quite a, you know, a special moment. And yeah, just generally the atmosphere in the studio is amazing.
Yeah. If you can pick one, who would be your favourite partner?
Gosh, well, I'm married to one of them, so I think I've got to be careful what I say. So aside from my husband, I think probably Russell Grant. I had a really good time that year, and he's a very, very good friend of ours. We're always messaging each other, we've kept in touch. And yeah, he's just a very, very fun character. So Strictly is great, but it can be quite stressful, tiring, hard work, and he was just full of joy and excitement, and, you know, couldn't stop doing samba everywhere, wherever we went. So he was, yeah, it was a really fun year.
Yeah.
So lastly, what was your favourite Sir Bruce Forsyth moment?
I think probably when he used to copy, you know, Vincent, my dance partner, used to do this funny thing with his eyebrows, and one time Bruce did it into camera and he copied him, and Vincent was like, oh my gosh, Bruce is like copying me. And yeah, there's a little clip somewhere of him doing a little impression of Vincent, so I think, yeah, that was quite a moment.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure, pleasure.
Yeah, I need to get on Strictly because I'm
You
amazing.
do.
Thank you.
Pleasure,
So
no
much.
problem at all.
So we're with dog behaviourist and the owner of Dog Trouble, Joe.
So
Hello.
If you don't mind, we're going to ask you some questions.
Sure.
So what made you become a dog behaviourist?
I used to be a teacher. I used to teach 11 to 18-year-olds. And so I've always been involved in teaching. But I had a dog called Max at the time, who was a Springer Spaniel puppy, and I got him when I was at university. And he was the naughtiest dog ever. And I came back from university and I moved back home. And I went and got a rescue dog from Diana Brimblecombe, and her name was Ellie. And I didn't know anything about dog behaviour at the time, but I got her because she was really skin and bone. She was found in Ireland, and I just felt really sorry for her. So very similar to what a lot of clients say when they come and see me. I picked the dog that I felt sorry for, not the right dog for me. So I brought her home, and she started attacking my dog Max every day over, you know, if Max would come into her space or if there was food around. And she would literally grab his nose in her mouth, and on a daily basis my kitchen was bloodshed. You know, there was blood up the walls, and I was screaming and I didn't know what to do, and I thought, oh my god, what have I done? And then I saw the first series of Dog Whisperer on TV, Cesar Millan, and I started watching it, and I started observing what he was doing, and then I started making notes, and then I'd record every episode and play it back and stop it and make notes. And I started learning about dog behaviour, and I started implementing what he was doing with Ellie and Max, and I started to see that it was working, and she was becoming more balanced and less aggressive, and I really got a taste for it, and I thought, oh, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do. So I set about setting up my own business, and I started in the evenings and at weekends. I started helping friends with their dogs and their dog behaviour issues, and then I saw that I was quite good at it, and then friends would ask me to help their friends' dogs, and then it just escalated to the point where I was seeing so many people with their dogs in the evenings and weekends that I couldn't fit it in with a full-time job as well. So it took me about a year to pluck up the courage to give in my full-time well-paid job and set up my own business and set up Dog Trouble.
So how and why did you start Dog Trouble? This bit.
So yeah, a little bit because of that. So Dog Trouble started because I could see that a lot of people were struggling understanding their dogs, and knowing how to address a lot of the behaviour issues. And I saw that I had a gift for understanding dogs, and dogs responded well to me, and I also had a gift for teaching people, you know, educating people about dogs. So that's why I started Dog Trouble.
So, do you have any pets?
Do I have any pets, Molly? I have 12 dogs. I have 12 dogs. Some I've chosen to have, some I've had because they haven't been with the right owners, or they've been too unpredictable to stay in the house that, you know, in the family that they're in. So yeah, I have 12 dogs.
So what's the most common behaviour problem you come across with dogs?
I think probably dog aggression. So most commonly people will come because their dog has started reacting aggressively towards dogs, or towards people, and also pulling on the lead. Every dog I see, they need help with their dog pulling on a lead.
So, what's the strangest behaviour that you've come across in dogs?
Strangest behaviour? It's probably a dog I've got in at the moment, where he started almost like he was seeing things. So he would look up to the sky and he'd bark up at the sky, and then he'd look at the floor and bark at the floor, and it was almost as if he was seeing something that we couldn't see. And sometimes with dogs, when they're exhibiting that kind of behaviour, you have to look at what the health of the dog is. You know, is there a health issue? Is there a medical issue? So I thought to start with he couldn't see, because he was behaving like he was trying to find his way all the time. So I had his eyes tested and his eyes were fine, but we think that he's probably got a neurological problem. So a little bit like you get autism in people, he's a dog that exhibits autistic behaviour. So, and sometimes that's linked to things like vaccinations with dogs. So there's a lot of side effects with vaccinations, and it can cause a lot of behaviour problems in dogs. But that's probably the most strange behaviour, yeah, and it's been a really difficult one to work out, you know, what's causing it.
So what are your plans for the future with Dog Trouble?
Oh my goodness. Anybody that knows me, I've always got plans, I'm always thinking of what I want to develop. So the idea behind Dog Trouble is that we create a one-stop shop for dogs. So we create a centre where people with their dogs can come and utilise a variety of services, whether it's dog grooming, dog rehabilitation, doggy daycare, you know, swimming with their dogs, scootering with their dogs. So it's basically going to be a centre where we've got lots of different services where people can almost have a membership and come with their dogs to experience different activities.
My dad says you don't get bad dogs, you get bad owners. Is this true?
Well, your dad should know. So you get dogs that are misunderstood, and you get people that don't understand dogs. So part of my role is to help educate people so that they can understand their dogs and understand how their dog is feeling and why their dog is behaving a certain way. And then when they start to understand that, I teach them the tools that they need to address the behaviour. So I might show them how to correct a dog when their dog's barking or pulling on the lead, and I might show them how to be more calm and more confident with their dog, so their dog starts to learn to trust them and to respect them as well. So I think it's more about educating the owners rather than the owners being bad owners, really.
So what's your favourite breed of dog?
Oh my goodness, favourite breed. I've seen a lot of breeds. I think Spaniels will always be my favourite, as well as Labradors. But I actually have got a French Bulldog in my pack, which I never thought I would ever have a French Bulldog because they are riddled with medical issues. But I actually love French Bulldogs as well. But yeah, I love all dogs really, rescue dogs, all types.
What's the easiest breed of dog to train?
I don't think there's an easiest breed. I think there's an easiest personality. So a dog that has got quite a high pack drive. So by that I mean a high desire to follow me as their leader. They're the easiest dogs to train because they want to be led, they want to be directed, and they want to follow you. I think the toughest dogs to train are those that haven't got a very high pack drive, but have got a very high prey drive. So their desire to be the leader and be in front and decide what they want to do when they want to do it, they're tough, really tough. Yeah.
So thank you for asking our questions.
That's all right.
That's all of them. So thank you.
Thank
That's
you
all
so
right.
much.
Pleasure. Nice to see you.